What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Thomas Free Me TV and podcast show, live Saturday night. We're going to be talking about football, specifically football in prison and what that means to the inmate.
Trying to build a prison. You can't handle the truth.
My little intro. So, let me see what we got going on up here. I'll be working the computer as I'm talking. But first and foremost, many blessings to everybody out there. A lot going on, a lot of stress, a lot of talks in politics, a lot of fear-mongering, a lot of emotion grabbing, things of that nature. So people are very tense, holding on to their wallets, not really knowing what to expect in the time coming up. So people are really stressed. Just take it easy, like I'm just telling everybody, just take it easy. Look for just what's in front of you, deal with what's in front of you, and just keep calm. Keep calm. 9 times out of 10, we've never even experienced half the things that we hear on TV. So, don't worry about it, Don't stress about it. Just worry about what you got going on and what you can control. So with that being said, that's something that we had to really do inside. We had to just keep our minds off of so many things, because it would just put us in such despair, keep us down. And football really helped us get through the last part of the year. For me, during my time, the hardest part of the year was this time coming up. I started to become angry, alone, ostracize myself, because the holidays, I missed my family. I missed all the holidays and everything that was going on, and watching my family get older and just watching, life go by from a window. And these holidays would come through and be very, very hard for us. We would start seeing commercials on the TV, for Christmas and Halloween, Thanksgiving, and of course, them commercials are family oriented. So it was very, very tough, and football got us through that. Football got us through those times. For those that has not watched my intro show yet, I did explain about the texts. So I do have my wall here that I'll be putting up, changing this around from time to time, but these are individuals that will stay on throughout the live, my live broadcasts, that are in desperate need of attention, desperate need of American citizens to stand behind these individuals, speak out for them, specifically Temujin Kinsu up in Michigan right now with Governor Whitmer, Attorney General Dana Nessel. They are well aware of Temujin Kinsu, well aware of his case, and well aware of the corruption that lies behind that, and yet they're out in the public's face talking about, the Constitution and what we should stand behind and all that jizzy jazz. But this is exactly what this wall is, and I will be showing from time to time the charity address, cominghomecoalition.com. You can visit that at any time and see what it is that the charity does, what I found it here in the Tampa Bay area, and what we currently have going on and how you can donate to that. That is very, very important that we do that, because, again, the holidays are coming up, and I do want to get these care packages out for these holidays. So please visit cominghomecoalition.com, and see what it is that we have going on there. Now, for those that don't know, football, like today, unless you're a college person, I'm not really a college person. I'm an NFL person, but we would sit around today because you got bookies inside. You know, you got people that run numbers, and I had run numbers tickets for these bookies on several yards because it's good money, you know. And I was reliable, I was a hustler, and I was honest. People knew me as honest, so I did pretty good. Now, if you're not familiar with the monetary system inside of prison, specifically the federal system, our monetary system was stamps. You know, 3 stamps was $1. So a lot of stamps were on compounds, you know, and this is what we would gamble with. And your bookie would print up tickets like, you know, Wednesday night, he'd pay somebody that either worked in the law library or education in some way to print out these small little tickets. And on those tickets would have spreads. You know, it would look like this, sort of, in a way, right? So, and then they would have odds next to it, you know, or the odds would be at the top of the ticket, you know, as to what you would win. So if you would put, say, a 3-pick, right? 3-pick paid 6-to-1 odds, means if you put $1 down and all 3 of your teams come through, then you win $6, right? 4-pick, 5-pick, 6-pick, and it just goes on, right? So this is what we would do on Saturdays as inmates, man. We'd be the whole compound running around, placing bets. We got football, you know, college, things of that nature. Everybody's trying to hit the bookie. So I'm just gonna share some of that with you each Saturday night. Talk about football, maybe bring on guests here or there to talk about what it was like, their experience inside, dealing with football and such. And you know, we'll just sit back and kick it, you know. And I think that'll be my Saturday night program as I'm building out this season 3 of Live on the Thomas Freedme Show. Again, please subscribe, like, share, and also research into who I am and what it is that I'm out here doing, so you know why this program exists and why I'm doing the things that I do. So, getting into the football, man. Tomorrow night, I'm going to go up to my pop's house and watch Tampa Bay get destroyed by Dallas, crush everybody's dreams, you know. Sick of Tom Brady already, man. You know, yeah, he's a great quarterback. Yeah, best ever. Okay. It's time to get out of here, man. You know, your wife is about to leave you, Tom. You know, go do your thing, man. And get the hell out of here. But, so the Cowboys and Tampa Bay, that's the Sunday night game. I'll get to that last. But the first game we got on the list is the Jets visiting Baltimore. The Jets are plus 6.5. Now what that means, right, those are the points, plus 6.5. That means that out of the gate, the Jets have 6.5 points, right? It's not 0-0, it's 6.5 to 0. Now, how do you have a half a point in football, right? So what that half a point is, that means that your ticket won't lock up. So it's because there is no half a points, it means that you have 6.5 points. So if the Jets lose the game by 2 field goals, if they lose the game by 6 points, you still win because you entered that game with 6.5 points, right? And your ticket won't lock up. What lock up means that if the Jets were plus 6 and they lost that game by 6, your ticket locks up. It's a tie. Tie goes to the house. So you have 6.5 points. The over-under is 44. Now, this is a divisional game. They always play each other tough. I think, you know what? I think I like the Jets plus 6.5. Jackson didn't get his money, so we'll see how he shows up. But I like the Jets 6.5. Next, we got Carolina going into Cleveland, and that is a pick. Now, what a pick means is you just pick who it is. You pick the winner. You pick who you think is going to win that game. 0-0 entering in the game. There's no points. The over-under is 42, and that's low. That's low. But you got Baker Mayfield going back into Cleveland. That's going to be a hell of a game. That might even be worth watching. But I'm taking Cleveland to shut Baker down. And it's definitely going under 42. Even though that's a low 42 is low on an over-under. But I'm definitely taking that under. Then you got Houston going into Indy. Houston is plus 7. And I'm saying that Indy is going to blow the doors off Houston. I don't know if it'll go over 45. I wouldn't mess with that. I would not mess with that. But I got Indy blowing the doors off Houston. So Indy would be minus 7. I think they cover that. At least by 13. Then you got Washington going into Jacksonville. Jacksonville is at home. And they are the underdog. Jacksonville plus 3, Washington minus 3. The over-under is 44. And you know what? I don't know too much about these teams, but I like Jacksonville at home plus 3. Because I know Jacksonville is tough at home. They always keep a defense. I like Jacksonville at home, plus 3. And this is something that you haven't seen in a long time. Miami going into New England. Miami going into New England as the favorite. New England is an underdog at home. Miami is getting 3.5 points. They're giving 3.5. I'm sorry. So Miami is giving 3.5 points going into New England. The over/under is 46. That's going to be an interesting game as well. Over/under is 46. I'm going to take Miami, man. Just because Miami has been being beat up on so long, and they are going to put their foot on New England's neck while they have the opportunity to do so. But New England is still kind of tough. Yeah, man, I like Miami minus 3.5. Atlanta going into New Orleans plus 5.5. Atlanta is getting 5.5 points. The over/under is 43. That's Battle of the Bums. But you got dang, what's his name? What's the wide receiver's name coming back over there for New Orleans? Then you got Winston. What is the receiver's name? Michael something. Had the hamstring issue. Don't know, he was questionable, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. You know what? At 5.5, New Orleans wins by 2. I got New Orleans, man, winning by 2 field goals. I got them covering the 5.5. These lines came from CBS.com. I got New Orleans covering. Then we got Detroit going into Philly plus 5. Philly's gonna cover that. And that's going over 48. I don't know. 48 is kind of high. I don't know. Philly covering. I got Philly covering -5. I would leave that over on. That might lock up around 48. Cincy going into Pittsburgh -7 over under 44. These are always battles. I'm taking Pittsburgh +7. I'm taking Pittsburgh +7. At home too, all day. Not messing with the over under. Chicago going into San Francisco +6.5. San Francisco win by a touchdown or more. Easy. Over under 40. Oh, that's going over 40. What is that? That's 24. 24-14. That's what I see kind of the score being, 24-14. That's going over 40. That's almost like a free pick. But it's always the first week, and always with the first week, these players are kind of slow, getting in the rhythm. You got a lot of them that really didn't even play in the preseason. Green Bay going into Minnesota is a pick. Again, divisional game. They play each other tough. Devontae Adams is no longer with Green Bay, and they lost their number one defensive pass rush guy. Can't remember his name. I like Minnesota as a free pick. I like old Kirk Cousins, man, coming out. Arizona +6.5 going into KC. Man, that's going to be a game there. Over under 53. Can KC give Arizona a touchdown like that? I don't think so, man. I don't know. That's a tough pick. That could go either way. But I'm taking Arizona +6.5. +6.5. Chargers going into Vegas. The Raiders -3.5. Chargers going into Vegas -3.5. Over under 52. They're expecting that to be a high scoring game too. You know what? For my homeboy, for my partner Stephen Bobo, for Bobo, I'm doing this for you, Bobo. I like y'all, man. I gotta take the Raiders at home. +3.5. And that's definitely going over 52. Is that going over 52? $28-24. 28-24. I got it going over 52. So the Raiders at home plus, they're going to win that outright. So those points are good. Over 52. Tennessee going into the Giants. Tennessee -5.5. Over under 44. Man, Tennessee is going to blow the doors off the Giants, man. Giants can't stop Henry. They don't have nothing for Henry. Saquon Barkley, yeah, but Tennessee is tough, man. I'm taking Tennessee -5.5. Taking Tennessee -5.5. And then now we get to Dallas and Tampa Bay. Dallas is, man, Dallas, man, they've been, this is my squad. Dallas is my squad. I've been watching Dallas since I was a kid. And I've just been with them ever since, Tampa Bay is my home team. But, they don't glamorize this stuff, man. And I I'm not about all that stuff, man. You know, I don't know. You know, I don't know if to me these feel like bought championships. You know what I mean? So I really want Dallas to come in and just beat the brakes off Tampa Bay. I really do. I want Zeke to run all over Tampa Bay, man. But I haven't been watching. I want Dallas to surprise me, man, because, you know, I've been getting amped up with them each year, everything going on. So I'm like, you know what, man, I'm just going to let these people surprise me. But I'm taking my home team, man. And I'm not talking about Tampa Bay. I'm not talking about Tampa Bay. Dallas, plus 2.5. Taking them. Over under 50. That's going to be a shootout. You know you got to put points up against Brady. I like the over in that too. Monday night, Seattle plus 6.5 going into Denver over under 44. Again, I think Seattle's going to get the brakes beat off them. We all know why. Russell's going to go in there and do something with Denver. And that's it, man. Those are my picks for the week. So we'll do this each week and see if I know what the hell I'm talking about or not. But I used to hit these tickets in there now. I used to hit. So when football came around, it really eased the tension of us in there. You know, it really kind of lifted the spirits of us, changed the aura of the hostility that went on all year, you know, because we have softball season, we have sports season ourselves, but when that comes to an end at, around summertime, down in Florida and whatnot, it gets too hot to go out and play, or a lot of times we're locked down, things of that nature. There's not too much going on. Basketball done, season ended, and you have this little period of like dead time. Not too much going on. And then you have football season comes up. And then when football comes up, we know that the end of the year is over. Like the end of the year is a wrap. Because when football ends, we've entered into a new calendar year. We done knocked one down, and however many we got left to go. So football really helps kick that year's ass, out the door. And this is what we would do all day long. Inmates right now, today, running around, getting their bets in. And then we would have in the feds, we had, 5 or 6 TVs, small little 19, 20-inch TVs. They started putting flat screens when I was leaving, but we still had the tube TVs. But, and they couldn't fix them, right? So when the tube TV would blow up, they would replace it with a flat screen. So, these TVs were just blowing up left and right, mysteriously to get these flat screens in, and inmates would argue and bicker over which flat screen went where because everything revolved around sports. Sports was priority over everything, right? So when football came on, if there were 3 games on the TV, we'd make sure that 3 TVs had the games on. And people would be getting up 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning and start cooking spreads, big spreads, all for football. This is what we would do, all week long. People would be buying things out of the kitchen and just making spreads, for football and gambling, and those that didn't watch football, they went and did their own thing. But, man, it was like being in a Hooters or something. That's kind of like how we would look at it. Just like being in a sports pub, with the fellas just watching football, shooting the shit, and then, the week would be over. And football season, just like it does out here, flew by, and before we knew it, we wouldn't even really have to concentrate on the holidays and stuff too much. But that's what it is, man. I think that's what I'll start doing here on Saturday night, and hopefully I'll have some guests on, come on. Share some stories with me, whatnot, talk football, and go through the season with you guys. Maybe I'll run some boards or something, and maybe take for donations, prizes, things of that nature. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. Let people know about Thomas Freemy. Again, you could Google that, see who I am, what I do. And please, once again, if you have not seen, do not see, please make sure to visit ComingHomeCoalition.com, the ThomasFreemeShow.com. That is a new website, so I'm still working on trying to get all of that functional. Again, if you're new, at the end of the day, this is just me doing this here. So I will be getting into the case that I'm working on. I will probably have to be traveling here again shortly. John Merritt, please research that. This is, again, another individual that needs much awareness too. All these individuals, any name that you see up on this board, if somebody donates money to Coming Home Coalition to have a name placed up on this board for recognition, these are important people, right? And the reason why these are important people is because these are innocent people, right? These are people that I deal with, that I've looked into, researched, and these are people with legit claims of innocence, and we have a lot of wrongful convictions and a lot of innocence in our prisons. There's no way that we can have almost 3 million people in our prisons and only 5 to 10% be innocent. There's way more than that coming out, now that these doors are being opened. And if you have not heard yet, Illinois is making a big move, man, in criminal justice, which I'm going to look into. Maybe the next time I go live, which will probably be Tuesday. I'm trying to set up for Tuesday night lives as well. That'll be more of my institutional, informational program. But I am going to look into what Illinois is doing on this ballot. It's got a couple people pissed off and people worried. Again, the fear-mongering and things of that nature. So I do want to look into that. But once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the things that you do to help keep me thriving and surviving, keep pushing and bringing the word, right? So please like, subscribe, share, but most of all, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, stay out of your emotions. Stay out of your emotions, right? Stop reacting emotionally, and let's use our head and make the best decisions possible and understand what these people are trying to do to us. Again, I'm going to repeat what these people are trying to do to us. Understand. So, without further ado, I love you guys. This is Thomas Freemy. You can reach out to me on social media if you have any issues going on in your life that you want to raise awareness to, or you need me to case review, anything of that nature, please contact me. I'm available on Facebook most of the day, most of the night. I hardly sleep, so peace. Y'all take it easy, man.